We're here for the next installment of this train layout that we've been building. I think this is number 5 YouTube video. But just to kind of give you an update on where, things that we've done and, progress as it goes. And some of the progress, I've glued the track down in several places where it was kind of binding, and I've been running trains just to check it. Started doing a little scenery, just playing around with some grass. And that was, never done that. That was kind of interesting to do, to figure out. But it is starting to take shape on that. Also, I've put some decouplers on the track, and I've wired up the switches for the, well, I'm wiring up the actual switches, but the switch machines for the turnouts, I've got those wire run under the table. As you can see, they're just Atlas switch machines coming off the Atlas Mark III turnouts. But I pulled all the wires. I kind of used my own. I didn't use any standard wiring colors, but I did stay standard with it. And then, here we are. I brought everything over to here. I took the main power, and I actually put that into a terminal and tied everything together, and that'll be going back to a Bachmann transformer that I have. I'm just pulling, all I'm doing on that is pulling the 15 volts DC off of that to run the accessories. And then the others will actually come through some switches that I bought on eBay. Actually, they were much cheaper than buying them at a store. I basically got 10 of them for probably the same price as I got about 4 of them elsewhere. So I, just had to order those. But here's our wiring. Each one is individually labeled on where it is. I'm going to be bringing it up to a, like so, up to a control panel here that the Digitrax will be running through. Remember, I've got the Digitrax system. So right here, I'm going to be building probably a little bump out control panel. I've already built the control panel. I just I've cut the sides out, or cut the holes out. But as you can see, it'll have the loco net will be running through right here. I've already got the cut out for that. And then over here, I've gone ahead and if you can see it, put it down flat. These are the holes. Once I put the indicator for the track, just some tape or whatever, this is where our single pole double throw switches are going to come through. They're just momentary switches. But what I did here is I just went to Home Depot and bought some clear acrylic, a sheet of clear acrylic, and I cut this out, this piece out right here, and it was clear. So what I've done is I took some flat black Rust-Oleum plastic paint, and I just put a couple of coats of see if we can get it around here without a reflection, a couple of coats of the Fusion black flat paint on the back, so the front, won't scratch off on it. So it's all kind of backlit. Also, I'm looking at putting indicator lights for the turnouts, but that's a little more complicated, so I'll be starting out without and then moving on to that because that's a little more electronic. And that'll be mounted basically right here, like so. And then it'll have the control box underneath, right underneath, where I can reach it to switch the whole unit on if I need to. But that's coming along well. Hard to cut the plastic, not quite as easy. You got to be careful you don't break it because it's very thin acrylic. It's only like 1/8 inch thick. Actually, I end up using a zip saw cordless zip saw to cut the bottom of it down there with a plastic bit in it. But here is the kind of what it'll look like on the paper. What I got on the paper is be on the control panel. I'll get you some tape and color that out. And this is the LocoNet connector right here, the board for that. So it's moving along, and also you might notice that since the last one, I've actually added some skirting onto the outside, and I put the cross pieces on the legs for the bench work down here. So that's closed up. It's pretty solid now, as you can see. But I just used a piece of 5mm underlayment that had a birch finish on it here, which is a nice birch finish on one side, and then just a luan on the other side. And I cut an 8-inch strip for the front edge, and then the back edge I've gone 16 inches around here, as you can see right there, and it kind of closes it in, but it's going to give backdrop, but also it's going to give, when I put my I'm going to have a mountain, a small hill right here with some things on top of it and a couple of portals. It'll give me a place to tie in to right here, plus have a little extra height to it. So that'll also be sculpted a little bit. I've just got it temporarily screwed up there. And then the edges will be, anything that's showing will either be painted or have some type of mount. The reason it was easier just to put a 16-inch piece along the back, and then I can, like I said, I can, you know, sculpt around. I don't need it so high at either end down here. In fact, at this end I'll probably only have a couple of small hills right here with maybe some water. So this will get cut down quite a bit. And then once I get that done, I'll wrap the outer edge with a piece of outside edge on that just to make it finish. Don't know that I'm going to do anything to the outer edge on it, but what this does is the table is just a floating table in here, and it'll sit in there quite nicely. Alright, well, that's kind of the progress we're at, and we'll see you in the next video. Hopefully we have a little more progress, and we've got the switches up and going, and the control panel. Till next time.